Everyone, welcome to Australian Transformers Weekly. We are bringing you Transformers news from around the world in a uniquely Australian perspective.
Cobber.
Mainly that's to do with our accents. Cobber.
Yeah.
Struth, core blimey, and that's not a knife. This is, however, episode 222. All the twos, 2 for 22, 2. We are recording. Oh, yeah. We are recording live on Friday, November 27th, 2020. In this episode, we will be talking a lot about Malibu Stacy and the new Bumblebee movie, and we're going to give you a bit of an update on what's out in Australia and what's coming up in the next few weeks, because it's been a while and we're due for a bit of an update on that. So all of that and more is coming up in this episode of Australian Transformers Weekly. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening and watching. I'm Jason. Joining me this week, we have Bradley. Sorry, Bradley. This is going well. We have Bradley Smith. Oh, see, that really did go well. We have Bradley coming to us from Perth with a bonus belch thrown in. Bradley, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I didn't know that got picked up. I do apologize for those that are listening. I'm doing well, thanks.
That's actually how you can tell that it's an Australian podcast. We don't mute ourselves to burp or fart.
Yeah, I think I belched last time I was on the show, but yeah, I'm doing well, thanks, Jason. How are you doing?
Good. I'm actually just wondering if we should rename your lower third to Belchley or something like that. No, fair enough. How's it going over in Perth? The eastern states are having a bit of a party related to the lack of COVID and some newfound freedom. I went out and had a barbecue this evening. The weather's been nice. How are you doing?
That's all that stuff is like so last year in WA because
because you guys are a fortress.
Yeah, we don't have COVID. We're cool.
Yeah, you also don't have like immigration and borders that are open and stuff.
Well,
it's fine. Like all the other states are starting to open up. I'm looking forward to being able to go and visit my dad in Melbourne for Christmas. So I did not know whether or not that would be possible a few weeks ago. So
oh, that's good.
Yeah. How's things going on a Transformers front? Have you been going out and buying some Transformers?
No.
Or just getting them posted to you?
No, actually, something different. I actually have a mate who does a lot of driving around for his job. And as a consequence of that, he goes into many, many different stores and he finds many, many different things. Like we won't talk about other acquisitions, but I have Netflix Bumblebee.
Very nice. Yes.
Yeah. My friend found this in a brick and mortar Kmart.
I can't say brick and mortar Kmart as if like it's an aberration that we're not familiar with anymore.
Well, I mean, he didn't buy it online, is what I'm saying.
No, fair enough. Well, you can't buy them online, at least not reliably.
Well, not for under $80.
Well, no, I mean, so if you go to Kmart to the website where it says like you can buy the Netflix Deluxes, you can't request Bumblebee. So, like, let's be honest.
It's one of those potluck things.
Well, it's assorted because all of the Netflix items and the same thing happens with Earthrise and Siege. They all share the same assortment code, and so Kmart literally can't tell what you're ordering because it's only got one code in the database, but there's 4 different figures or 5. So it's hard to order Bumblebee from Kmart. You sort of have to go and order like 5 or 10 just to be sure that you're going to get the one that you want, and then either return the ones that you don't want or just sell them.
Yeah, that's
It is annoying. So I too have acquired myself a Netflix Bumblebee and an Elita One, and I'm not sure I'm going to hold on to all of them, but we'll see what happens. Like as you can see, the shelves behind me get slightly busier every episode. So despite the fact that I have more shelves in the background of my study than I have had ever before, space is limited. So I need to make some hard choices about what stays in the collection and what goes on the display shelf. So that's going to be a bit of a topic of what's going to happen in my life in the next few months. Is trying to whittle down some parts of the collection.
Is that Skylinks you've got on top there? Because the white's sort of blending into the wall, so it looks like there's just a blue tank with a red turret.
Yeah. I mean, like, isn't that all Skylinks is really anyway?
Yeah, pretty much.
Blue tank with the red turret.
Yeah.
No, that is Skylinks sitting up there, and he is sitting up there like a good boy. So, yeah.
That's good.
Someone came around yesterday, and they're like, I don't think Skylinks would like that pose. I'm like, well, too bad.
I don't think any pose is good enough for Skylinks.
Oh, look, there has to be a couple of things that are good enough for Skylinks. Let's get on with talking about some news, shall we?
We shall.
First of all, the first thing I want to cover off in news is just a bit of an update on where we're at with local releases, because it can be hard to keep up, and especially when we're not actually here every week telling people what's going on. There's been a bit of a lag in keeping people up to date on what's happening. So from the top, we've talked about Netflix Wave 2 Deluxes already. You can find those in Kmart if you're lucky. So Kmart got stock of these things and pretty much sold out the day or the day after the stock came in. I went to my local Kmart store today because it's Black Friday and I wanted to pick up some cheap trash. And I also checked the Transformers aisle, and there were 2 Netflix Wheeljacks. So I feel like Wheeljack is the shell former of Netflix Wave 2. All stores seem to have a Wheeljack left. But, of course, Bumblebee is the big hero of the wave. He disappears almost instantly. And Elita 1 also seems to be pretty popular as well, which, considering that she's a repaint of Earthrise RC, a figure which has not been universally loved, I am quite surprised at the speed at which Elita 1 is disappearing from shelves. Impactor also is going pretty fast. I think I've only seen Impactor a couple of times in the wild. Now, we should also mention that along with Netflix Wave 2 Deluxes has arrived the Netflix Wave 1 spoiler box. Now, this was meant to be a spoiler for Season 1 of the Netflix show, which happened in June or July of this year. So it is thus of no surprise to anyone that it's a dead Ultra Magnus. The more surprising thing is that there's an Ultra Magnus figure in Kingdom, so maybe that's maybe the real spoiler is the fact that Magnus ain't really dead.
Have you got another victim in there?
I'm sorry. I think I've actually just been told to shut up by my cat because I'm stopping him from getting some sleep.
Oh.
So Ultra Magnus, the Wave 1 spoiler box is at Kmart now. It's $89. It is worth noting that while a lot of people are a bit upset about like the prices of things going up, Kmart has actually kept the price of the Netflix figures to standard retail prices that they've had for the last few years. And they're to be commended on that because it means that we actually have the cheapest prices in the world on these Netflix figures. They are a couple of dollars cheaper. Sorry, they're a couple of dollars more expensive than the rest of the deluxe ranges on their US pricing. But here they're $5 cheaper than the recommended retail price for Earthrise. Most of Earthrise Deluxes are $34, and Kmart has kept the Netflix Deluxes to $29. So thank you for that. Voyagers are still $49 as well. And the leader pack. Now, the interesting thing about the Voyagers is that it's a Voyager figure plus a couple of Battle Masters. So the amount of value that's in that box is actually up around the sort of $70 to $80 mark rather than the $50 mark. So getting that at $50 is basically like getting a couple of free Battle Masters if you're in Australia.
$50.
$50. Good on you, mate. Yes. Dodgy brothers. So the Netflix Wave 1 spoiler box is here, but Netflix Wave 2 Soundwave, which is a very highly anticipated figure, and Optimus Prime, which also seems to be quite anticipated, but despite the fact it's the 5th release of that figure this year, They're also not in Australian stores yet. Now, I've taken it upon myself to email Hasbro Australia customer service, and they have responded to me and said that Soundwave and Optimus Prime and the Wave 2 leader box will be coming to Kmart in December. Now, that's interesting information because Hasbro Australia also said that Earthrise Wave 3 won't be coming to Australia, but here it is in Big W stores now. So whether you can sort of balance one up with the other and say, well, they know what they're talking about or they don't know what they're talking about. The fact is, Netflix Soundwave, Optimus Prime, and the Nemesis Prime leader spoiler pack either will or won't be here in December. I'm saying that to cover all bases so that no one can say I was wrong.
So don't expect stuff, but go out and hunt for it anyway.
Yeah, that is I think the best message. Go and hunt for it, and if it's not there, don't. If it's not there, don't at me on Twitter. So the news there is also that Earthrise Wave 2 is at Kmart stores around the country, but it's there and it's drying up pretty fast. So it's been there for a few weeks. It's been hard to say. And Wave 3, which we thought wasn't coming and started all ordering online, is at Kmart, and not at Kmart. It's at Big W. Big W's got them priced, I think, at about $34. So take the Kmart webpage into Big W and see if they'll price match $29. Yeah. This is kind of the thing that you should be doing at any of these bricks and mortar stores is before you approach the checkout area, Google the thing that you've got in your hand and see if anyone's offering it cheaper, and if they aren't, get them the price match.
Now, I just imagine like you going up to that, and then people like the poor bloke who works at the customer service or in the checkout just going, "Oh, you fucking nerd! All right, fine, I don't care."
Yeah. So my favorite price matching story is when I got some Philips Hue bulbs from Bunnings, and the recommended retail price on them was $50. Amazon, unbeknownst to me, was selling them for $25, and I had taken in a price match from Kogan for $40. So I've gone up to the service desk with the Philips Hue bulb, and I've said to the woman behind the desk, I'm like, "I'd like to price match this, please." And she's going, "Oh, let me guess, Amazon." I'm like, "No, actually Kogan, but now that you mention it, let's have a look at Amazon." "Oh, yeah, yes, Amazon, thank you. Yes, that'd be great." So, like, the price match policies exist for a reason. It's to make sure that customers actually come in the door and buy stuff. So just use them. If the store that you're shopping at has a price match policy, see if you can use it. I mean, they get these things for $15 or $17 or $18 or $20 anyway. So, if you don't price match it and you can, it's basically like leaving money on the table, or at least taking it out of your own wallet. So,
yeah, true.
Other things that have been released here in the last few weeks: the reissued G1 Optimus Prime. This is the G1 Optimus Prime in cab only. So there's no trailer. You get the cab, you get fists and weapons with him, and I think you get stickers. All the stickers are already on it. If you don't already have a G1 Optimus Prime, I'm surprised that you're listening to this podcast. But if you don't already have a G1 Optimus Prime, you might want to consider buying a different one, because this one is $79. All of the G1 reissues have been very expensive at Kmart. If you remember, a few years ago, we had the G1.
That's where they're making their money. That's why they're not doing the Netflix thing.
A few years ago, we had the G1 reissues at Cotton On, and they were $15 each. Now that they're at Kmart, they're $20 just for the G1 mini bots. So they've now got Optimus Prime. He's $79. I will point out also, this thing's shelf-warmed in overseas markets. So, like, I've seen it run out for $50 in Toys R Us in other territories. So $79 it's a bit of pill to swallow. The most surprising thing about it for me is that people are doing it. People are posting on Facebook, "Hey, I found this G1 Optimus Prime. holy shit, it was expensive, but now I own it. I'm like, really? Okay, well.
What size class would you say he is? I wouldn't even say he's Voyager.
He probably is about a Voyager. Most of the G1s don't really map to modern size classes. Like, these days our combiners are made out of Deluxes. But if you took the Constructicons of old and put them up against Deluxes in 2020, like they're tiny. They're more like Legion classes or Legends classes. So it's hard. Like he doesn't have a size class because they didn't do that back then.
It's just, I think they're just going for the nostalgia suckers.
I think so, and also like it's a good time of year to put that kind of a thing on the shelves, because if someone's looking for a present for someone that they know who is a Transformers fan, like who's really going to turn that down if it's given to them as a present?
True.
And ultimately that is what it's there for.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what I just drank along with that water, but whatever. It was tasty. Some other things that are on the shelves in Australia at the moment. The final piece of the Cyberverse Macadam Builder figure, the deluxe range, Thunderhowl, has finally been spotted on our shelves. It's funny looking back at 12 months ago when I was looking at the first wave of these figures in Hong Kong. There was a diagram on the back of the box that said, the Wave 1 is out now. Wave 2 will come out around the middle of 2020, and then Wave 3 will come out a little bit after that, and then Wave 4, which is just the single figure Thunderhowl, and Cyberverse was, RC was Wave 3, and Thunderhowl is like Wave 4, and they're like, Thunderhowl will be late 2020, and it's like, oh, actually, here it is. It's late 2020 and Thunderhowl's on the shelf. So like, who knew back then that all of those things were quite accurate? So I have located a Thunderhowl. He's not in my hand yet, but he will be this weekend. So this weekend I will figure out if I need to buy or rebuy any other of the deluxe figures, because I have a feeling I've lost some of the builder figure parts somewhere around my house.
I do remember when you got them originally, you were very much enjoyed them, but I guess you didn't keep a hold of the Macadam parts.
So I think I did. Like I think I know where they are, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the ones that I've added over the course of 2020 have actually been tracked properly. So we will see what happens.
Okay.
If anything, I'm quite fond of the figures, but I have been assuming that the Macadam figure will not be very good, and having seen photos of it put together, I feel like I might be wrong. He might actually look pretty good. We'll see how it goes.
The only other Transformer builder figure I know of, and one that I own, is Transmutate, and she's not great.
No, fair enough. I actually, you're going to have to explain that one, actually. Like, what is Transmutate?
From Beast Wars.
Oh, okay. But so this is before the builder figure concept, though.
No, this was in this was in like mid 2006.
So the idea of like the builder figure as like a brand name and stuff, that is something that Hasbro's sort of brought to the market in the last like decade or so with different lines, but they brought it into Marvel Legends, and so
that's huge in Legends, isn't it?
It is. There's like the builder figures cover, I think a whole wave at a time, but here we're sort of like a whole line because the waves are so small. It's a funny thing when you look at Transformers versus the rest of the toy industry. Our waves of figures are really small. Like we get like 3 or 4 figures of a particular size class, and in like Marvel Legends, in Marvel Legends you get like seven figures in a wave and stuff like that. So the Transformers is a little bit different to the rest of the action figure industry.
I think it's just because with Marvel Legends there are so many characters they can pick from, whereas with Transformers for some reason they always hover around the same old. Like they very rarely introduce any characters that fans know of, but there are very rarely any toys of. Like they always just go Megatron, Optimus, Bumblebee.
Yeah,
repaint.
Look, those are the figures that sell. You can't really blame them for that.
True.
And you see what happens when they deviate from that is that you get a shelf full of silver bolts for the rest of the year.
Or Optimus Prime without a trailer.
Well, so those don't seem to be shelf warming.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, as much as we might dislike them, they're selling. They're out, and people are actually handing over money for them. So,
yeah.
Other stuff that has hit recently, very quickly. Maverick, who actually I don't think I actually covered. He's over there. I can see him, but I can't get to him. So Maverick is now officially out in Australia from EB Games or Zing. He's $98 there, which is a little bit of a markup of what I paid for him on import. And Generation selects G2 Megatron, the Earthrise Megatron repaint in the green and purple camo. That is hitting EB and Zing stores this week. His sort of wave and announce mates, the G2 repaint of the Sandstorm for Earthrise Seeker Jets. Not seen yet. We have seen some in-hand images leak out, so we know that he's coming out of the factory because someone has taken one from the factory.
Whether legally or illegally is not for us to comment.
Oh, it's probably illegally, let's be honest.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, still MIA for Australian releases. The Galactic Odyssey sets. So you can order the Biosphere clone set, the Autobot clones. You can order that from Amazon Australia, and that will actually ship. I believe that's actually shipped to Australia before it was meant to be released for the rest of the planet. So go us. So the Biosphere clones is out, but other ones. You have to basically go onto Amazon US, and Amazon US will allow you to ship them to Australia in general for some of the newer ones. The older ones, not so much. So yeah. As for international releases, Earthrise Runabout is coming out now in Hong Kong. He's in reviewers' hands, and he's made it out from an online seller in the UK. So we're seeing photographs of him pop up. Earthrise Thrust is coming out in December. So by the time you listen to this, it will probably be December. So Earthrise Thrust is coming out that month. And the Galactic Odyssey Paradron Medics set is due for release in December as well. That is one that you can order from Australia. I think you could, but I think it might have sold out now.
I think I've already ordered it from somewhere. I know I pre-ordered a few things a couple of months ago. I pre-ordered the Prowl and Ironhide 2-pack. And then
we'll talk about that one in a minute. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So as we mentioned, Sandstorm is due for December, and Generation selects Cordon and Spinout, the two sort of Sunstreaker repaints. They might be due in December. I did go in on a pre-order for those that said that they were due for release in December, but other sites are saying January, so could go either way. We'll see. It might be late December. Who knows? So as you mentioned, Autobot Alliance. There's been a lot of kerfuffle over Autobot Alliance locally because some of us did order it from Amazon Australia, and some of us have had our orders cancelled. So. I don't know whether your order was cancelled or not. My order sat, and so I've ordered a few for various people, and my order sat without a ship date for a really long time. But now it's got one, and it's late December, and it's going to arrive either late December or early January. So, yeah, fair enough. So there's been stories of people receiving cancellation notices, and I'm just going to go out and say utter bullshit excuses from Amazon. One person I know received a note, like a 3-page note from someone at Amazon that said, "Look, we ordered too many of these things, and our supplier can't supply them, and now the price has gone up, so we've had to cancel your order. You can reorder it at the higher price." And it was like,
that's a bit steep.
But the part that doesn't actually make sense about this is that it's an Amazon exclusive item.
Yeah, that's right. They've ordered too many of their own exclusive.
Yeah, how can the price of the Amazon exclusive item go up? So the person who relayed this story to me, he showed me the 3-page email from Amazon saying, "Look, we're really sorry, but blah blah blah." And it's like every single thing that they just said was bullshit. And so he basically got onto the customer service and said, "No, you're not allowed to cancel this order. You have to fulfill it." And sure enough, they've given him a ship date now. So yeah, it's kind of weird. I think Amazon Australia has had to do a bit of catching up to the US when it comes to exclusive items, and I think they're getting better because we're now seeing fairly regularly, maybe not with exclusives, but we're seeing fairly regularly with Earthrise figures that it's listed on Amazon Australia, but it's sold by Amazon US. And sometimes also Amazon UK. So I think Amazon as a global organization is getting better at moving its stock around to cope with demand in different regions. And the good thing to their credit is that when it's coming from Amazon US or UK, it's still a pretty good price. Like the Deluxes are generally hitting $33 to $35, and that's with shipping. So that's it's easy. It's good enough. But when they do cancel items, it's really frustrating, especially when they're items that are difficult to acquire that you've been sitting and waiting for a shipping date for a long time for.
Yeah, because the thing that happened to me was, I think beginning of this week or end of last week, I got an email at like 11 p.m. from Amazon saying, "We need your action on this." And I said, "Okay, what's going on? Has something happened with the payment?" And I went on there and said, "Do you still want this?" I was like, "Yeah." And said, "Okay, thanks for letting us know." It's like,
was this an item on your wish list, or was it an item that you'd ordered that they hadn't shipped?
It's an item I've already pre-ordered. It was the Autobot Alliance.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It was that.
Yeah.
I was like, that's just weird. Like I pre-ordered something, and they're like, "Do you still want it?" It's like,
Can we give this to someone else? No.
Can we give it to someone else we just sent a 3-letter email to explaining why we can't give it to him?
Yeah, he's really angry, and we need to do something about it. So we're going to give him yours.
No, you're not, you bastards.
Nah, it'll have to be someone else's. It's probably going to be mine.
You've got a ship date, haven't you?
I do, but I don't have a ship date. I have an arrival date. And it's a month-long window. So it's going to arrive sometime between the end of December and the end of January.
Well, make sure you're home for that.
Well, I'm not going to be home in the end of December, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
In fact, I might actually redirect it to a parcel locker. So if it does actually arrive, then I can just get my housemate to pick it up. Good thinking, Bradley. Thanks for putting that idea in my head. That was good.
This is going to be weird, but we just here at the Australian Transformers Weekly podcast would like to wish everyone that's pre-ordered anything from Amazon good luck with getting your order.
Good luck, and we're all counting on you.
Leslie Nielsen.
Yes. So look, that's a bit of an update with what's happening with international releases. In fact, I didn't actually mention that Gigawatt's out. He's been out for a few weeks overseas, in fact, probably a couple of months. The Australian release of him is in December, coming from EB Games and Zing. If you ordered him from Amazon, sorry, but they cancelled all the orders. Australian release of Ectotron, not Ectotron, sorry, he's on the other screen. Gigawatts, he just happens to be on the desk in front of me. There's the camera. He's a nice looking figure. Gigawatt is out in EB stores this month. So if you've pre-ordered him, keep an eye out. They should be getting in contact with you pretty soon. And he is really nice.
Can I just say that I find it really funny that a toy based on a time machine is being released before it's meant to be released?
No, it's after it's meant to be released.
Is it? I thought it was out for a few months, but it's coming.
So it's been out. It's been out internationally for a couple of months, but the Australian date on all of the pre-orders for EV games was December.
I still find it funny. Shut up.
Fair enough. I mean, look, you can find it funny that the toy based on a time machine is late.
Yeah. See, look, it works both ways.
There you go. I fixed your joke for you, mate.
Thank you very much.
Now that we've sort of spent a bit of time blithering on about release dates and what's coming up, let's talk a little bit about Malibu Stacy, shall we?
Or does she come with a new green sweater? Oh no, it's a new hat, isn't it?
It's a new hat. I'm gonna add Malibu Stacy into the stream right now. We are talking about the new release of the Transformers crossover Ectotron. We saw an update from Hasbro a couple of weeks ago saying, "Hey, there's some Transformers Ghostbusters news." And everyone was like, "What? There's another Transformers Ghostbusters figure? That's great!" Because there's been a customizer. I think he's in the UK, who's been taking a lot of figures and turning them into like a Ghostbusters team, and they look great. And everyone thought, "Oh my god, are they going to do more Ghostbusters figures?" No, it's a repaint.
Yeah,
it's a repaint. So Ghostbusters Afterlife is hitting cinemas now in March. 2020 has been the year of sliding release windows for movies. Most of them have slid all the way into 2021, including Ghostbusters Afterlife. In Ghostbusters Afterlife, a beaten up and downtrodden Ecto-1 is seen wallowing in a field, drowning its sorrows, with a bit of rust and all sorts of stuff not quite right on him. So Hasbro has taken the opportunity to release a version of Ectotron that reflects that deco. You might say that they've spent 2 years of battle damage on Siege to bring themselves to this moment where they can actually rust up a Transformer. You might be right, but
here
Ectotron
without the rust.
Well, if you want it without the rust, you have to get the original version. Yeah. Ectotron is I feel like he's a little bit more comic accurate now. The figure had a very different head in the comics to his original toy release, so they fixed that up and they fixed some of the coloring and some of the panels on him. So I think he looks a little bit more like the comic, except he's also scuffed up, so he doesn't look like the comic. And they've also changed. Excuse me. They've also, I think, changed his gun as well. So he really does have a new hat, just like Malibu Stacy, and he also comes with a new ghost. So as we can see in the photograph here, there's a new blue. There's a new blue ghost that I can't remember its name.
Bloomer, Blue Slimer.
Blue Slimer with multiple arms. You know, he's like Musher or something. Anyway.
Yeah.
So the other interesting thing about this is that the Slimer that comes with this new Ectotron is less translucent than the one that came with last year's Ectotron. So Ectotron and MP10 both came with the same Slimer figure, decorated differently. This one looks more like the MP10 Ghostbuster Edition version of Slimer. And then, of course, there is the new blue figure that comes with him as well. This has afforded them to put the price up by about $20 or so. So the new Ectotron is a lot more expensive than the last one. Yeah. Bradley, do you have Ectotron and do you want this one? Are you a Ghostbusters fan?
I see. For me, you know, when people win Lotto, they do lots of weird things. For me, if I win Lotto, the first thing I'm going to do is buy myself an Ecto-1, because that for me is my dream car. I like the Ecto-1. I like Ghostbusters. I'm not going to buy a second Ectotron.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I thought we were heading for a must buy verdict there, but no, you've just spun it at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I too will not be buying the new Ectotron. However, I don't have a long-winded story to go with it. I just don't need a second one. Sorry.
Actually, you were saying before about the customizer who gets things. I think I saw a picture he did. He got an Ectotron and he turned it into the car the Ecto-1 was at the beginning. You know, the black car with like a red light.
Oh, okay. That's different. I haven't seen that one, but yeah.
It was hilarious. I saw it and I was like, oh my God. A, why would you do that? And B, thank you for doing that. This is very creative.
So we don't have any Australian release information on the new Ectotron yet. We assume that it'll be coming. Oh, I say that, but actually I don't think he's up for pre-order at EB Games, but I think he might be up for pre-order at Zavvi.
Yeah,
and I don't know if I can bring myself to open up a window and look at Zavvi while I'm on the podcast. But as I said that, I've already done it. So
yeah, I know we can all hear the keyboard clanging.
you can hear the keyboard of victory.
Yeah.
He is in fact up for pre-order at Zavvi. However, he's out of stock. I'm not sure. Would you like to go to the Australian site with Australian currency? Why not?
Sure.
Yes. In fact, yes, he is up for pre-order at Zavvi, and he is he's $81.99, and I think I paid $70 for the original, so fair enough.
Yeah,
not too bad. So, if you're in the market for an Ectotron and you haven't already got one and you can't find one, then you might as well pre-order this one because you'll have them inside 2 months.
And you might be able to wipe off the rust.
You won't
wipe Ecto. No? Oh, you can put liquid paper on it then.
all of the customizers that I know who just heard that are probably spinning in the graves that they're not in yet.
Well, then no harm done.
So it is an interesting question though, because a lot of the siege battle damage could be removed if you were careful, and there's a particular process that you can follow. But if looking at the photographs of this one, like if I zoom this in a bit, like it doesn't work at all. I've zoomed in the background.
Yeah, you zoomed in the background, but we can't get a closer look at the. I think you might have to save the image.
Oh no! Wait, I can just go to a different image that shows it, right?
Actually, I think he's got a different face sculpt because I was looking at the face sculpt of the original.
He does. I already talked about that.
Yeah, I know, but I was going to say the original Ectotron doesn't have the mask all the way down. You can still see his eyes, but this one, the mask is all the way down.
Yeah, this one looks more like the comic, the way that the figure was appeared in the comics. Now, so if you look at this, there's quite a lot of like rust marks painted on over him. So like, I wouldn't necessarily be confident at being able to remove it.
I'm pretty sure it's just white plastic, is it not?
Like it is, but people have found it difficult to remove a lot of the battle damage. But if there's just a spot of it here and there, then it's okay. I don't know. Like I'll probably be made a liar of as soon as this thing comes out. But also, like if you don't want the rust on it, just buy the other one. And
don't at Jason if you.
Yes, please send complaints to TFW 2005.
Yes, please do. They're very, very receptive to complaints.
So that is the new Ectotron. He is due for release early in the new year. Now, this was not the only crossover news that we've had in the last few weeks, and I'm actually a little bit excited about the next one. Hasbro mysteriously released an X-Men Transformers crossover logo it was a couple of weeks ago, and set the internet alight because it showed the X-Men's jet. And the X-Men's jet is very distinctly a Blackbird, which the only Transformer that we know of who actually has a Blackbird as an automotive is actually Revenge of the Fallen Jetfire. Now, so were we about to see a Studio Series figure become a Transformers crossover? The answer is yes, but not quite in the way that you think. What we're looking at here is the Transformers collaborative mashup with X-Men. He's got the stupidest name ever. He is the Ultimate X-Spanse.
That just sounds like a fat guy.
Yeah. He's the expanding X-Men frontier. However, is indeed Jetfire. There are unmistakable parts that are the same, but it's been very heavily retooled into a really rather striking bright blue color. He's got the X-Men's sort of action utility belt, which I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say utility belt. I think that's Batman. He's got a very X-Men style uniform, and he's even got little Cyclops visors over his eyes. Comes with some effects parts. He's got 3 claws for one hand that makes him look like Wolverine, and there's a blast effect for the other hand that looks like Cyclops's. I don't actually know the technical term for Cyclops's eye blast.
Eye blast. I think that's what it is. I think this is just an amalgam of different X-Men characters. Like you got a bit of Cyclops, a bit of Wolverine. I'm sure that blast is probably meant to mimic another character.
Yeah. So there's also, I think someone said that there's something to do with Psylocke in here as well. But
Okay.
so I'll bring up some photos. So thank you to Hasbro's stock photographer for mistransforming the photo. He does look more like the old man that is Revenge of the Fallen Jetfire in this mode, because his head is buried down in his chest. But you can definitely see the Jetfire in him here, and the retool. I'm actually just astounded at being able to take a figure with such very specific movie stylings and neaten it up into what actually looks like a comic character. I'm really impressed. There's his alt mode, unmistakable Blackbird jet, and rather strangely, bizarrely, or interestingly, he comes with 2 little figures. They are Wolverine and Sabretooth.
Yeah, which is
why he comes with those 2 figures, we don't really know. But like we assume that like Marvel had them sitting around somewhere, and so they wanted to use them. So even the box looks a lot of fun. It's got a great sort of great Marvel comic style
a very 90s look
character.
to it.
Very much, and like that's actually kind of the thing, right? Like it is sort of more based on the 90s cartoon X-Men than anything else. And so hence the bright blue color scheme and everything like that. So yeah, the box looks great. The figure looks pretty great. I am definitely interested. So the photo that I've got up now shows him transformed properly and standing upright instead of looking like an old man. And that's much, much better.
So this is because the only Jetfire I've had is the original Revenge of the Fallen. So is this a completely different mold?
Yes, this I believe the Studio Series 1 is a little bit different.
Okay, well, that's cool. And we're looking at the head sculpt here. I like the look of that head sculpt, or the face sculpt.
Yeah, he's got a really good head sculpt, which includes the face. It's a very, very sort of determined Autobot style, and he's got the Cyclops visor. Yeah, no, very.
Is that a slide down visor? Because I think in one of the other photos it was slid down, or is it just? No,
I believe it does slide down. Yes.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely there for this. Now, I'm not actually sure if I've seen him up for pre-order in any places, but let me just
go to Xavier again.
Do you know what? I actually tried Xavier. But I think so. The site that I found it on is Hobby Corner, which is in the Philippines. He's 4,400 Philippine pesos, which is $120. Given that he is a leader class figure, he's retailed.
He
so
is
like
much bigger than the other crossover. Well,
he is. I think he's actually the biggest crossover figure that we've had. So fair enough.
Yeah,
you can have your $120. We will see. It looks like he's due for release in April. So
cool.
That's the Malibu Stacy section of the section of the news. We also just want to talk about very briefly. There's been I'll take the screen share off of this as well. So with Transformers Kingdom coming out soon, Kingdom's core class has made it to stores around the place. They are shipping from a few stores in Canada, and so the core class figures are out, and Hasbro very kindly sent a bunch of Kingdom figures to different bloggers and YouTubers and people in the Transformers community around the world for a global unboxing event. So if you have a look on YouTube, look at your favorite YouTubers and look at your favorite Twitter personalities and Facebook personalities, and you'll probably see that some of them have been sent a box by Hasbro with all the Wave 1 Kingdom figures in it. Makes for a very, very nice unboxing event. The Kingdom boxes look amazing. They're really nicely put together. The artwork on them is fantastic. And following that, someone then went and leaked most of Wave 2. So we see now. Yeah, so we see from that there's a couple of notable things in this photograph. Now, first of all, we are looking.
We don't have the photograph up.
Oh, we don't. That's right.
First of all, no photograph.
First of all, there's no photograph. So first of all, we're looking at an even split in this wave of G1 figures and Beast figures. So we've got Dinobot, I believe is on the left.
Yep.
Followed by a re-release of Earthrise RC. It's notable though because they've gone to great lengths to hide RC's backpack in the packaging by putting the cardboard between her body and the backpack. And it's the only figure that they've done that for. It is really weird. Oh, actually, I say it's the only figure they've done it for. I don't actually know if that's true, but it's notable for RC.
Yeah.
After that, there is what looks like another fossilizer, but I can't quite make out his name. We might have it in shortly. And there is a brand new deluxe class Huffer.
Yeah.
And I'm totally there for a new Huffer. I'm really, really, really happy to see it.
Yeah.
Following this leak, there's been a few higher res photos come out. Now, we mentioned the spoiler box Ultra Magnus earlier, and the spoiler is that Ultra Magnus is still alive, apparently. So here's his repaint coming up in Kingdom. He is a leader class figure. It's very likely he's just a retool of his Siege appearance with his G1 Transformers the movie inspired appearance, which I'm totally there for. I'm fine with that.
Yep.
We also are getting the inevitable repaint of Grapple as Inferno.
Yep. I think we're also getting a few more Grapple repaints, but yeah.
I'm not sure we are, but maybe we will be.
I think Artfire was, in a leaked document. Generation selects Artfire.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not sure that I'd go for that one because I've already got the Masterpiece ones as well. Here's the in-package shot of Dinobot there.
He looks amazing.
Yeah, look, if people are fans of Dinobot from the show, I'm pretty sure that they're going to be happy with Dinobot out of Kingdom. And so one of the other Beast figures coming up, there's Air Razor. I'm not sure that we've actually, unless I've missed it over the last few weeks, not sure that we've seen close-up images of Air Razor, but if someone's got their hands on the box, then we probably will. And there's a closer up image of Huffer.
Yeah, he looks cool.
Huffer looks like the little Autobot that could.
Well, I've got the Power of the Primes Huffer, and that just doesn't look like Huffer to me.
Power of the Prime. The Prime Wars one, the little Legend scale one. He was just a repaint of Optimus Prime Pipes, I think, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Fair enough too. But this has definitely got the correct cab design on him, judging by the box art anyway. And who doesn't love Huffer?
I know. Especially since the Power of the Primes one, like you said, it's just a repaint of Optimus Prime, and he doesn't have the purple chest or anything. But this one does. Again, it's like they took the animation model and here you go.
Sure did. It looks like he's also got his sort of hands as pipes and stuff like that. He looks very faithful to the G1 figure, just sort of blowing up a bit. And that's pretty good. Like he'll have that sort of G1-ness to him, but he'll also have more articulation, ankle tilts, and all that sort of stuff. So good.
Plus a weapon by the looks of it. Well, from the artwork anyway.
Maybe. It's so hard to tell which figures come with weapons and which ones don't. It's kind of weird. And over the last couple of years, they've sort of gone from including weapons to taking them out again. And like with Sunstreaker, you sort of have to just imagine that his turbojet intake is a gun. It's like, no, it's not. Like, whatever. But like Sunstreaker can just have one of the ones from the Centurion pack. Who knows? Who cares?
But I can obviously see a Pipes repaint, and maybe that will have the weapons.
Possibly. Possibly. Yeah. We'll see what happens. Right. So there's a couple more stories for us to look at before we wrap up. The first one was something that I skipped over briefly when I was trying to find the right browser here. Netflix has announced or Rooster Teeth, or they've all collectively gotten together and written a press release and released it. The next chapter in the Netflix animation War for Cybertron, which is of course Earthrise, being the middle chapter, is debuting December 30th. Now this is 6 months after the original release for Siege. We had wondered whether or not it was going to be 12 months between chapters. The answer appears to be no, which means we might see Kingdom drop on Netflix, maybe about the same time as Siege last year, and it might provide a nice conclusion to the trilogy while the toys are still on the shelves. Fingers crossed. That
would be nice. Yeah.
It would be nice. Especially given that the toys look like they'll probably end up being delayed anyway. But who knows?
Well, it'll be nice to have the cartoon out first before the toys are out in stores. Yeah,
it will. It probably won't quite happen that way. The reason I say that they're delayed, I think, is because I was looking at a listing for something where it previously said it was going to be out in February, and it now says April.
Oh,
so don't know. It's possible that some things have slipped around a bit. We'll see. So War for Cybertron Earthrise debuts December 30th. Depending on the state that you're in, if you are in our TCCA discussion group on Facebook, you might find some watch parties being organised. Depending on a lot of things going from the state that you're in to various COVID gathering restrictions, but I feel like by December 30th we might be okay with having a bit of a gathering to watch these. We'll see what happens. Is
this the full series or just the first episode, December 30?
I think it'll be the full series.
Okay.
We don't necessarily know, but that's a good question. Generally, Netflix drops all episodes of originals at once, and they drop them at midnight US time, which means that they arrive, I don't know, based on daylight savings times. For us in
about 12 hours.
So for us in the eastern states, they dropped at 6 p.m. for Siege, but that was not daylight saving. So I don't really know whether it becomes 5 p.m. or 7 p.m. Excuse me.
Still, you got your night planned ahead of you, haven't you? One way or another.
And also, it is December 30th. It's not December 31st, so it is not New Year's Eve. It's one day before. So, you could watch Earthrise for New Year's Eve. No one will blame you.
No. Perfect way to see out the end of this horrible year with some excellent Transformers stuff.
No, it's only the Netflix series, but yeah.
Oh, God, here we go. Jason and his Netflix hate.
Yeah. I think that's probably enough news for us to cover. We've gone to about 56 minutes. Do you want to quickly cover off any new acquisitions, and then we can wrap things up?
Yeah, I'll do a quick fire round. So again, I've got Netflix Bumblebee. Very, very happy to have. Mm-hmm. I put a Twitter pic on Twitter saying he's got a freaking VW logo on him because he does.
He's licensed.
Yeah, officially licensed. I think that's really good. So if you're a Transformers fan, I recommend going out to find one. Just don't buy them at the extortionary prices that I've been hearing stories about.
I'm actually buying them at $29.
Yes. Price match. I've got Hubcap. I've kept him in his card mode because I really like the color yellow that he is. Pretty nice. Cool. Yeah. Got the Pit of Judgment set from you, I believe.
It was, yes.
And I was moving him a couple of weeks ago, and the prosecutor, his head popped off.
Yeah, no, it does that.
Yeah, that's all right. Got a couple of other toys I haven't opened up yet. I've got the Alicon.
I was just admiring the Alicon sitting on top of things there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've also got Smokescreen. So I'm looking forward to maybe opening them over the weekend. And also, last but possibly not least, I got Earthrise RC.
Very nice. What's the last effects you got on there?
I think they're from Netflix Megatron.
Yeah, cool.
But I just put them because that's the end of her car mode. And as soon as I got her out of the packet, I almost lost the little spoiler that's on her car mode. I had to really clip it in there. I might have to glue it in at a later point. I don't mind her, but I can understand people not being a fan of the fact she's a shell former.
Understood. Yeah.
All right. What else have I got? I think I showed off Super Megatron last time. He's very cool toy. I have put I don't know what. I think this is the Executioner from the Pit of Judgment. I got him in his beast mode. He's pretty cool. He is a remold actually of the Alicon. He's not just a straight up repaint. He does have he's got these massive shoulder spikes, whereas the Alicon's just got little nubs on his shoulders. You can see there. Different face sculpt as well. This one's got the sinister face, whereas this one in his robot mode, he actually has like a Bane sort of apparatus on his face. Pretty cool. Oh yes, the Pit of Judgment does come with a Krenix toy, which I have put inside the Quintesson Judge just because I didn't want to lose Krenix. Plus, he's really small. I don't think Krenix should be that small. I mean, it's cool to have a Krenix toy, but at the same time, he is very, very small, just like the Prosecutor. Is this the Prosecutor? Yeah, he is cool. He is a cool toy. I didn't realize this until I had him in hand, but they actually took some cues from the Alien, the Alien franchise.
Yeah. He does have a very very Geiger-esque head, doesn't he? And I don't know if that's especially evident in the cartoon, or if it's just sort of something that comes when you extrapolate the 2D design out into 3D.
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't really notice it until I had the toy in hand.
Yeah.
But that's it for me. What about you? What do you got?
All right. Let me just find the appropriate screen.
Don't forget to change the screen as well.
Yeah. No. There we go.
There we go.
So I've taken a bit of a trip into the past and come back with two very good bros from 2003, which is the BotCon Sideswipe and Sunstreaker figures. And it turns out this is the third time I've purchased this mold this year. I didn't actually know when these were offered to me. I've been watching these guys come up because I have an eBay watch on BotCon figures. I've been watching these guys come up and been sort of like, I need to look into that and see what they are. And if you recall, a few months ago, I purchased Super Mac Alert, who was a Japanese BotCon figure, and he was a transparent version of, it turns out, this mold. And so now I've got three. I've got three of them. And so Super Mac Alert was from BotCon Japan. Sideswipe and Sunstreaker were from one of the 2003 BotCon things. I think there were multiple events in the year. I'm not quite sure, but very, very happy to have them. They're different Transformers from a different time. Like they've sort of got very human-like proportions to their. You sort of see their legs and their limbs, and they're actually sort of very much like the idea of RC being sort of the robot that folds up into the car.
So,
yeah,
pretty cool. So you said you were traveling back in time. Did you have something to help you travel back in time with?
I did.
Did I just throw off your whole style there?
No, because here he is.
Ah,
great Scott! It's Gigawatt. So Gigawatt is the Back to the Future crossover. We've spoken a bit about the crossovers this episode. He is a retool of Siege Sideswipe, and it's really interesting to see what they've changed. Like there's like a massive increase in the amount of detail on the mold. So like you can see the wires that travel around the wheel arch here, but they moved some parts of the vehicle mode around as well. So where previously the arms were definitively attached to or would come out from under the wheel wells, they come out a little bit back from it because the bonnet is so large on this guy. So a lot has been said about the bonnet. The bonnet is large. It's probably larger than he needs to be, but it doesn't really. I don't think it damages the figure at all. I think if anything, it just it makes his alt mode and his form and function a lot clearer. So I took some pretty photos of him the other night on my kitchen bench because I like to make my photographs look like they came from Takara Tomi's masterpiece instructions by using a marbled surface. But yeah, no, I think he's a really fun figure. Siege Sideswipe is a really fun figure. It's so fun that I've purchased it like 4 or 5 times now because I've got Sideswipe, Red Alerts, Tiger Track, and
Sunstreaker.
No, Sunstreaker is a different mold.
Oh, okay.
So it's a slightly different mold. Yes. No. So yeah. No, I've got 3 of him now. I've got 4 of him. But yeah, he's a really nice looking figure because Sideswipe is a really nice looking figure, and there's a little bit of a family a family shot of them doing the sort of
out of time pose.
Yeah, the out of time. And I also because it's Back to the Future, I also do have the Time Machine Lego set. So I had a bit of fun putting the Time Machine Lego guys in a photo shoot with them as well. Like that one there. So you sort of got Doc with the time machine. He's like, I could have the old Lego one, or I could have the new Transformer one. Yeah, there's a bit of a side by side shot, and of course, what does come with a little mini detachable Mr. Fusion.
Nice, because this is meant to evoke part 1, and at the end of part 1, it was the same machine as in part 2. So yeah, you got all the part 1 attachments.
Yes. That's right, and you can just flip the wheels down, and suddenly it's a flying version of the time machine. So yeah. It does not come with a steam engine attachment.
I was just thinking because we're getting the repaint of Ectotron, I can see this being repainted with white wall tires for Back to the Future 3.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. So Gigawatt, Sunstreaker, and Sideswipe, and I also made a quick trip to, I think it was 2004 with BotCon Ironhide. It's just a different figure, one that one that I've seen pop up in listings and sort of vaguely desired, and it was offered to me for a good price, so I grabbed him. This
is an Energon repaint, is it not?
It is. It's an Energon tow line, I think.
Yeah, it's just interesting because it looks like he's been repainted into Ironhide with an Ironhide G1 toy sled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's nice little reference to it there.
That's pretty. So what shelf is he going to be going on? BotCon shelf or?
Probably, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think BotCon seems like a good shelf for him.
That's pretty cool.
And a few of the other acquisitions recently as well.
Nice.
All right. We've gone over an hour, so I think it's about time we wound up the show.
We've met our quota.
So we've met our quota. We've put our hour in. We've given Brad a bit of an editing job, so our apologies, Brad. And we'll see how we go. So a couple of notes before we go. Club memberships are open. They have been open since September. So if you would like to join the Australian Transformers Collectors Club or Transformers Collectors Club of Australia Incorporated, as we are formerly known. Please, if you find value in what we do, or if you'd just like to support us, and I don't mean the podcast, I mean the club. We do go out, we attend conventions when we're allowed to, and I don't mean there's legal restrictions on us attending the conventions. We're very welcome at conventions.
Except for maybe Brad.
I was going to say you, but Brad works for you as well. So I don't know. Brad loves going out to conventions. Brad's love of going to meet people at conventions is actually one of the strongest aspects of the club, attending so many cons that it does. So like, look, Brad doesn't make it onto the podcast as much anymore, and so like I will just say, like, hey Brad, we miss you. But also, like, thank you very much for some of the strong values and some of the codes to things that we do that you've instilled in us. And so, yeah, like we hope that you like that we're carrying on some things. We are currently actually, and I'm absolutely staggered to be able to say this, we're actually having our second best ever year for memberships. We've actually just recently added our 165th member.
Wow.
So that puts us. I've been looking at the numbers of memberships for over the years, and we're currently quite a way behind 2016. But 2016 is our record for number of members, and we're currently in second place behind that, which I think is pretty good. It's a pretty good place to be. We're all of us who've been working on the club this year, and the raffles and the memberships. We're all quite staggered that we've gotten to this point. We've actually had to reorder some of our merchandise a few times in order to actually be able to make all of the membership packs that we have to send out to people. We've had a few pauses along the way because we've had to restock. We thought that we would, quite honestly, we thought we'd struggle to get to 70 or 80 people. And so once we got to 80 or 90 people, we thought, oh, hang on, we're starting to run out of faction badges. So we have to get out there and order some more. And while they were delivering, like, we couldn't send out any member packs, but we were signing up members. And so the ones that we ordered arrived, and then we've run out again. So we are currently waiting for another order of faction badges to arrive to continue sending out member packs. So if you have recently signed up and you haven't got a member pack, I do apologize. It is actually my fault, but they are on their way to us, and you should have something.
Once again, do not at Jason.
No, don't add complain to me. Just I prefer if you complain with love.
Yeah.
No one knows how to do that, so no one will.
No.
Anyway, like it's been a big year. We can't do things without the support of members. So we are extremely humbled and very, very grateful for the number of people who have signed up for memberships this year. And I also do want to remind people that 10% of revenue that we get this year goes to the Royal Children's Hospital Foundation. And we very specifically made it revenue because if I come on a podcast and, say that we just signed up a 165th member, that's $10 for each of those members. 10% of that is $1. So that's $165 going to the Royal Children's Hospital from us for that. And that makes us, it makes us accountable. Like, we can't go, oh no, we didn't sign up that many members because I've just said it. So that happens. We are making the donations quarterly. It's just better for bookkeeping and accounting if we do it that way. We have a very large spreadsheet that has all of our transactions on it, and so every 3 months we tally it up. We dot the I's and cross the T's. I don't think you actually do that on spreadsheets. I'm a bit new to this. And we tally up all of the revenue for those 3 months, and we take 10% of it, and off it goes to the Royal Children's Hospital. So we made our first donation a few weeks ago, and I believe it was something in the vicinity of $260. So
nice.
We're really proud to be able to say that we're supporting the Children's Hospital in this way, and hope to be able to do more in the future. We're going fairly hard at the raffles this month. We sort of took the pedal off took the foot off the pedal of the raffles late in October. And so it sort of showed in our revenue report for October that we obviously, there was a gap there where we hadn't run a raffle. So just trying to make up the deficit. Not all of the raffles are going to be big items. So we've done the Pit of Judgment twice. We've done Centurion once. We do have another Centurion to do. We'll probably do him in a couple of weeks. You also do have Earthrise Seekers to come up again as well. So I think we've got some attractive prizes, but they're not always going to be sort of as big as the Pit of Judgment. Like this week's raffle prize is Earthrise Blue Streak. He's a deluxe figure. So it's the club is ticking along quite nicely. It doesn't tick along without those of us who are involved in it doing things. So it is requiring quite a lot of involvement from us this year, and that sort of puts into perspective for us just how much time Brad has put into the club over the years as well. Because there's three of us doing things. There's three of us doing this year, which means this is all stuff that Brad did on his own back last year and the year before and the year before that and the year before that. And it's something that I like to say we have to work smart, not hard, to get it to take place. So we have to communicate with each other, and these skills are actually really handy for operating in a shared workspace as well, in a workplace, and sharing responsibility for a bunch of things. So a lot of us are learning on our feet. We might trip over a couple of times, so please do bear with us. I have also been running the group buys and freight forwarding for the group, which is a really interesting thing. If you've ever had issues with an order from a toy store and just gone, oh, can't they do better than that? I'm not even a toy store, and I was like, oh my god, yeah, I understand how things just get messed up and just put in the wrong order. Even things sent to the wrong people. It's happened a little bit lately, not by me, and just it's a story that I heard on our Wednesday night video chat the other night. But just humans make mistakes. We're not all computers, so yeah. I've kept the freight forwarding and the group buy stuff manageable for a long time, but it's just sort of, I'm finding that I need to be really careful about what box I put things into and where I record what people want and things like that. So please do bear with me. I'm learning how to do this while I'm learning how to do this on my feet as well. You're doing a good job. Thanks, mate. That's a rather more long-winded update than I was expecting to give about the club's operations. If you do value what we do and you would like to support us, please, you can message Transformers Collectors Club Australia Inc., the Facebook page. You can just navigate to the page, and there's a messenger window will pop up, and it'll tell you how to sign up for membership. Or you can email transformerscca@gmail.com, or you can just message me, and I'll tell you how to get things underway as well. So if you like what we do, if you appreciate what you do and you want to support us, please do consider signing up for membership. It's $10. It's good until the middle of next year. Gets you a cool member pack and access to a bunch of additional services that we like to provide to members in the group. I'm a happy member. Very happy. Thank you. I'm a happy member as well. I've got just sitting here under my hand. I've got my member pack. Oh wait, I have to put it on the camera. I've got my member pack. I've got my Autobot faction badge. I got my collectors club cards and my Toy Hack stickers. So that's what you get for your $10 membership, and you also get access to freight forwarding, group buys, and if you're having trouble finding something, we'll try and help you find it as well. Do what we can to help you import it, because we want to support the members who are supporting us. So yeah, I'll just say through the Jason Gateway, we call it, there's access to retailers and stuff you wouldn't really usually find online. Like they either don't have a huge online presence, or sometimes they don't have an online presence at all. And it's really good to get access to these vendors. Sometimes just that their shipping is really prohibitive. So, oh yeah, that too. Yeah. So there's been a lot of mention in the group recently of a toy company in Taiwan called Deming Toys, and Deming's really great. They get stuff really fast, and they sell things. It's a few dollars above retail usually if it's an in-demand figure, so you can't really fault that. But we do have an order of Thrust and Runabout toys coming for members, and Deming's shipping, because they're in Taiwan and because it's a pandemic, they can't post things by airmail anymore, so they have to go via EMS, which is basically it's a sort of a fast courier like service for post.
A speedboat.
Yeah, it's not a speedboat with Hulk Hogan. What you gonna do when EMS runs wild on you,
brother?
So Deming is sort of hamstrung, and they can only offer really expensive shipping. And so what I've managed to do is actually get them to post within Taiwan to a freight forwarder, and so it's a third of the cost to do that postage, and then the freight forwarder charges me by weight. Transformers are not that heavy, so hopefully we'll do pretty well with that. So like for our order, it was going to cost us $150 to ship it to Australia to me, but instead it cost $50 to post it, and so the $100, like if that goes on freight from the freight forwarding, like it's not going to cost $100. So very, very good of Deming to sort of help us out with a bit of experimentation on this front as well. And also One Toy in Malaysia has also been really, really good and really patient with me, putting up the numbers of things that I want to order. We brought in, I think it was 18 Earthrise Blue Streaks from them in October, early November, and then we've gone right back and ordered another 8, and then just like we don't have any more. Like you can have 8 and that's it.
They had to cut us off.
Yeah, I think we actually exhausted their supply. Same thing with Earthrise Thrust. They were just like, oh, you can have 12 thrusts, and that's all. Like the rest of our stock has to go to other people. So it's like, oh, it's really good of them to support us that way. They know that they're doing a favor for collectors in Australia who can't get it, who can't get these items without importing them, and by importing them as a group, they're helping us save some money. So yeah, good on them.
And we're helping their bottom line.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's a win-win for everyone. I should also mention that One Toy has offered us first wave pre-orders for Studio Series 86, and they're due in around March or so. So if anyone's into those, get in touch, and we're happy to help members acquire them. And look, I think now I've been talking about the club membership activities for about
at least 15 minutes.
Yeah, about 15 minutes. It's about time we stop and take stock and say that is it. It's the end of the show. So thank you, everyone, for listening. If you've been watching the live record, and I have seen the numbers bouncing around a little bit, thank you for checking us out. It is a Friday night when we do the live record. We don't really expect anyone to watch us live, so to those of you who are watching live, thank you very much. If you want to find out more about these stories, you'll find the links to them all and more in the show notes that are posted to the Transformers Weekly Facebook page and our Podbean site, which is transformersweekly.podbean.com. The Facebook page is, of course, called Transformers Weekly. Australian Transformers Weekly, and of course, you can find Bradley and myself and Brad, who I think Brad takes our producer role these days because he does download and edit the episodes for us. And you'll find our producer Brad Mull all in Transformers Collectors Club Australia on Facebook. If you're not already subscribed, you can find the podcast on iTunes, Pocket Casts, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and more. If you can't find it on those services, the RSS link is on the website, so you can pass it along to them and they'll add it in. Australian Transformers Weekly is a production of Transformers Collectors Club Australia, a registered club in Victoria run by volunteers donating their time, money, and Friday nights to make the club better for everyone. Our goal is to connect Transformers fans around the country. I nearly said collect Transformers fans around the country.
Not again, Jason. You were warned.
I know. Like, you know, I've had to give the shrink ray back to Rick Moranis. We do it by engaging the collecting community. You can find out more about the club, including affordable yearly membership options at transformerscca.com. Bradley, you can be found on Twitch. Tell us about your Twitch channel. Yes, and also tell us why your hair is green and your beard is meant to be pink, but it's sort of gone fiery orange.
Yeah, again, I think it's the lighting. I don't know what's going on. Twitch.tv/groovyguy0069. The hair is green because I hit 250 followers in July. The beard is pink because I hit 500 followers a couple of weeks ago. So when I was getting the beard done, they redid the hair as well. And
Excellent.
I was very scary to the other patrons of the barbershop because I was there with my eyes closed and a mask stuffed under my nose because I couldn't breathe with all the bleach in my beard.
Oh yeah, no, fair enough. So wow, yeah. Oh, well done. So yeah, it's fine. Have you updated your Twitter avatar to reflect these colors?
Yeah, haven't you seen the?
I remember seeing the beard as black. I didn't see the pink one, so I'll
have a look at it now if you want. While we throw away to whomever, whatever people are going to be watching or listening to after this very podcast recording / live stream.
You're good at monetizing YouTube videos. All right. That is it from us. Thank you for watching, everyone, and thank you for listening. We're sorry we've been gone so long. We will do our best to not leave the gap so long between podcasts. He says as we lead up to Christmas and obvious absences. So we
should say this now. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas. We'll see you in the new year, and we might see you before then. All right. Thanks, everyone. And we'll be back with more Transformers news next week. Oh, we've been live for 16 seconds. Oops.
And you've already made the promise of something being interesting.
No, I said we'd mess up our lines. That's a very different prospect between being interesting versus funny, I guess. Okay, we should get started then because we are live and holy shit, one person's actually started watching us already. For which
you sure that's not you?
Which window is it opening? It's open in. It's either open in a window on my computer or someone else's. We'll see. All right.
Hi.
All right. Well, let's get this show underway, shall we? Assuming I remember how to do this because it's been a while.
Haven't you got a script?
I do, but I think like
improv.
Don't hate on me, green hair man.
Oh, burn!
No, burn is the color of your beard, not your hair.
At least I've got hair to color, pal.
Yeah, that's true. Sick burn. All right, shall we get on with it?
We shall.
And this is my attempt at this is my attempt. Yeah, I know. This is my attempt at an audition to host Australian Idol. We'll have more about these stories after the intro. Bam! Into the intro. Thank you, Brad. Blah 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 blah. For the people who are watching us record this live, this is the part that gets cut out. Except we don't really know if it does get cut out or not. So we're going to assume.
We don't edit it.
We're going to. Oh, someone's just dropped off. We're going to assume that someone actually has taken this out. We'll see what happens. Yeah. All right, and
yeah, but that's it for me. What about you, Jason? What do you got?
I need to insert a pause here because I desperately need to get up. I'm sorry. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. All right. What else have I got?